Just poked with a needle until we explode.
I'm gonna grab a wine bottle really quick.
All the food just drains out. No. We just started streaming, I think. Just in time for me to say, hello.
Yeah, but we also don't have nearly as big a problem with magnets.
Oh, well, EMP
I think those. Well, that's the thing. We are the bitches. We become the robot.
Well, yeah, but
we become their weapon.
But I mean, being a bitch is like my whole life. Like robots are gonna
all about that life.
Oh, good.
I just think the robot, like that first wave of robots that's making our lives better, it's going to be like, your life would be better if you do the dishes. And I'll be like, no!
I'm going to go fight for the robot that says free shipping.
Yeah! Alexa!
Yeah. Mind Alexa.
Yeah.
Telling you, shop more.
Cool. Guys, let's talk about poison.
You want to talk about the robot?
Never.
Okay.
This is HFS. We live stream it, and you can look at the live stream if you want, or you can look at the camera if you want, or you can just look at your fellow podcasters if you want. And hiya.
You are recording. Okay, good.
Hey, what's up?
Oh, no, they were just they were confused that the hue lights were on and these weren't. Good night.
Do you need a sound check, Tuna?
Do you need a sound check?
I think so. Are you guys going to talk like you have been?
Yeah.
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
words
my
and
podcast.
whatnot.
Sarah, if you can scoot yours just slightly closer to you.
Yeah, like
there
that.
you go. Perfect.
Right in the face.
And if you have to reach for a beer,
There you
you can move it out of your way, but then move it back.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if
it
you're
doesn't
like rotating,
Get it right
try and
up in.
stay near, don't like
Right.
get away.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, you're
in
a
Singing in
radio
the Rain.
person. You're of all the person. You're of all the people will be great.
You're a radio person?
We have a lot of radio people.
I don't know that. I don't know that.
We
Why?
have two radio,
I know
three
that.
radio people.
Just like a community station in
Nick.
Bozeman.
Bozeman.
For 9
You're
years.
definitely a radio person.
I didn't know I was doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Till now, though.
Well, now you're doing it again.
Yeah.
You got to flex those old muscles.
Right.
Oh man, mine is so good.
Uh-oh.
Mine's okay. I'm
Out of
less.
focus.
I'm excited.
Yeah,
but
I'm like,
yeah.
I'm like,
Maybe that
holy.
helps.
Holy.
I think we've just done a lot of poisons for SciShow, so I'm just trying to find something that we haven't talked about.
Because that's more fun for you.
I feel like
Yeah.
mine, people are going to be like, you didn't know that, you dummy?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Is anybody doing Mithridatism?
No.
No?
Okay. That's when people try to like make themselves invulnerable to poisons by taking little bits of it, like the Man in Black, Dread Pirate Roberts.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about?
No, I
Oh.
thought I was like I'd do that. But
Is
I
that
feel
a
like
thing?
it does work for some things,
Oh,
but not for
should we-
most. Most you just die more slowly
Yeah. Because
because
build
it's
up.
poison.
Yeah, build up is what
Yeah.
poisons you.
But apparently it works for some venoms more than the poison.
Huh.
But-
Does
I
it?
ruled out venoms in my search for things.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
What does that depend on? Is it like how body in like?
I don't know. I didn't do a bunch of research on it because I was like, that's not that interesting.
That's
and
pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I wish I had looked into that.
Quick,
Just
Google.
give me your throwaway topics beforehand. So I can have something good to work with.
Okay, so we do edit these, Sarah, you know that. So if you need to like look at your notes and be like, wait, don't cut this part out. Feel
Whoa.
free to do that. And then also feel free to like ask questions and interrupt each other. And Hank will drive the ship. And yeah, the small motorboat. And yeah, are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Cool.
Can it be like one of those fan boats like they have in Houston right now?
Yeah.
They're
Collecting
so
like carp
loud.
and
Yeah, they're real loud.
dogs.
I've been on those.
Do you call it a carbon dog?
No, you'll be collecting carp and dogs because that's what I've seen videos of people rescuing.
Rescuing
I'm
carp?
gonna run into the fire ants.
Rescuing carp, or are they just
He just
fishing?
caught
No,
one.
you caught one. It was like in a place that wasn't supposed to be, and he carried it. And
Oh,
Oh,
Weird.
well,
there was. I saw a GIF of someone fishing in their living room.
Yeah, I saw
Oh.
a video of somebody catching a fish with their hands in their house.
Yeah, I think that was the one. I
Ooh.
saw.
Pretty dope.
So if you're catfish noodling in your own home, is it legal?
Oh,
I don't know. Is it illegal to do with other
yeah, if the
places?
In a lot of
catfish
places
came
it
to
is.
me.
It's because you didn't get a fishing license. You're just going out and grabbing a fish
We're just
wherever.
getting bit by a fish.
Yeah, and also it's a good way to drown, and so they
Oh.
try to do rules
Right.
about don't be dumb, don't
Yeah.
get into a weird part of the
It's a
river.
public health problem.
Yeah.
You fuckers killing yourselves.
Oh
And
man.
we have to deal with your dead bodies.
Yeah.
All right.
Can we Y-ball and clap really quick?
Cool.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Here, I'll clap.
Yeah, somebody else
Perfect.
back.
Nice.
Ooh.
Thank
Ooh.
you.
Wow.
Try to give some resonance.
Nice.
Action. Did I mess you up?
It's got a headache. I've had a headache for 15 hours.
Whoa.
Oh, right.
I
It's
wouldn't
fine.
have clapped so hard.
Did it sound like a high-pitched noise to anyone
There
else?
was a
Yeah,
little-
Yeah, it wasn't just like a clap. It was like,
Bounced in this one.
I got
okay,
some.
good.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm glad that wasn't
Good.
just my
Good
brain.
job.
All right. We're going to start the podcast. I'm going to do a little intro, and then we're all going to say Holy Fucking Science together. And you'll know when to do it. It'll feel right. Hello, this podcast. It's not for children. It's a podcast in which four friends get together and try to amaze each other with facts about the world or how we found out those facts about the world, enough that somebody else on the show will say, Holy fucking science! Hey, everybody. How's it going?
Good.
I just changed voices really dramatically.
Hey!
Hey, everyone. I'm very excited about today's episode. We're going to talk about poison, which is like basically anything that. What is a poison, Ceri? I feel like you know the
Oh.
definition.
Yeah.
It's something that you have to ingest or like get into your body in some
Okay.
way. And I think it just messes with your normal
Anything
metabolism, anything that normally
Okay.
functions in your body.
But you
gets broken.
were saying you excluded venoms.
Yeah, because venoms, so poison, if you bite something, it's a poison. If something
It could-
bites you, it's a venom.
Ah.
Okay, so it has to like if it comes in your mouth, or if you breathe it in.
Or if you breathe it in, it's a poison.
But if it's injected into you, it's a venom.
I think so.
So what about like spitting cobras? If
That
you
spit
get
on you, and then it gets in your mouth.
Yeah.
Oh, good
I don't know.
point. That's very good. That's very good. We're also joined by Sarah. Hi.
Hi.
How's it going?
Good. Yeah. Yeah.
Good. You're reflexing your radio muscle, apparently. I didn't know
Yeah.
you had previously been on radio.
Yeah. I had a show on KGLT in Bozeman for 9 years.
Whoa.
Yeah.
KGLT, the glit.
I guess.
Can we say that on the
I wonder if is there a KLIT? Because like back when they were assigning radio call signs, KLIT would probably be like a pretty cool name. Like it's K-lit. But
Yeah.
now it's just clit.
There
Um,
was a transit system called the South Lake Union Transit. But then they started making
Yeah.
branding for it, and we're like,
Ooh,
you can't
this
call
was a
it.
mistake.
It was a poor
You
decision.
can't go ride the slut.
K-lit is 99.3 FM Radio Cristiana, is a Spanish language Christian format radio station
Wow.
serving Laredo, Texas.
Well, there you go.
So neither K-lit nor clit, I would guess. The shit is lit! Here in clit! That'd be what they'd say.
That's what they'd
But
say.
they'd say it in Spanish.
Yeah, and also more about Jesus. Stefan Chin has also joined us. Hi.
Hi. I was trying to think of different vowels for the transit system, but none of them are good. None of them are good.
Well,
They're not as bad, but
What?
hi, I work for SciShow.
What were your other vowels?
Well, I mean, so you could do slot.
Right.
That also sounds, it's just not a good name.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily bad. Like
Slot.
slit is also not great.
Yeah, no. I've heard slot used in the same way as slit is sometimes used.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know.
We love to make words. What is
Stop clicking on things.
Ooh, that's not what I expected to see.
There are
Anyhow,
multiple levels of things people can't see.
Though,
Because on the
Yeah.
podcast, they're not seeing any of this.
But-
But on the video, they're also not seeing what you're
but
seeing.
you're not. You're talking.
No,
you're also not
no,
seeing what
to
I'm
be
seeing.
honest.
You have no idea. what that bad logo was.
Unknown.
Yeah, see, it's bad logo. Like, it seemed like it could have been much worse.
Yeah.
Because you were like, oh, clit, and then I clicked on a thing and like, whoa, but it was just like some text.
Yeah, it was just a bad
With
logo.
a bad logo.
That had a sort of a vagina incorporated
Yeah.
into it.
Okay.
But we're talking about poisons, which are apparently things that you eat and that interfere with your bodily functions.
Yeah. Or if a cobra spits in your mouth and you swallow it,
Yeah.
I guess that's a poison.
Or breathe.
Or breathe.
Or-
yeah. If you breathe in,
Totally.
is like tear gas a poison?
Yeah.
I think so.
Mustard
Mm.
gas definitely is.
I
Sure,
think it's
sure.
like it gets in your body, like eyes. If it touches
Yeah.
Yeah,
your
yeah.
eyes, it's poisonous.
I feel like everything's a poison though, right? That's what they say. It's not it's the dose.
Well-
Like, at the right dose, everything's a poison. Because you can kill yourself with water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like salt
That's
water.
drowning. That's
Well,
not water.
No, you drink too much
Well,
water.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
I don't know.
You can
I don't
mess up your
know.
cell
And I might
membranes.
talk about it a little bit in
Oh,
mine, but
Oh.
Well, we don't want to get too close in.
well, I don't know. I mean, but like, there might be things, and like the thing is, I don't actually know if this applies to mine, but
Yeah.
could there be things that you could eat so much of that like it's not chemically interacting, but that like you like volumetrically, like your
Right,
stomach,
Sure.
Right.
You're not
Like-
metabolizing it at all.
Well, like,
you just choke to death or something.
Well,
you
one
know,
of the
like-
one of the things that I was talking, like Derek Muller was working on those snatoms, those
Yeah.
atoms that stick together magnetically.
Those are cool.
I think we probably have
have
some
them.
of them on our.
Where
yeah.
are? Oh yeah,
Yeah, they're back there behind us if you're watching on video. And they have little tiny bead magnets in them, but those are really highly regulated actually, because if you eat one and then you wait like an hour and eat another one, it will, one of them will have gotten into your intestines already, and then the other one will be attracted to it,
Oh my
and then it
god.
will pinch through your
I hate
intestines.
that.
That's
So it's
What
like
if you eat a
have to be-
sausage in between?
Don't know, Stefan. Probably if you have some Imodium first is probably the thing you want to
Okay.
do
Okay.
to make that release
How-
dangerous.
that would
But-
you'd need to get surgery.
yeah, and you
Oh,
do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, they have to cut you up.
that's horrible.
But also just like
Don't eat magnets.
don't eat magnets, but that's not a poison. Because it's not interfering
Yeah,
with your
right.
bodily.
Yeah.
It's like with your metabolism. It's just like
That's
it's just
the
like
thing.
basically getting shot, but on the inside with a very small BB.
Yeah.
Like somebody
That
shooting
you
a
put
BB
there.
gun in your intestines.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Don't eat a thumbtack either. Just
Yes.
things
Yeah.
things to not do.
We're still list things you shouldn't eat.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
This is all the fucking sign. Don't eat. What else? Anybody else? Shoes?
I mean, really sausage. I mean,
Glass,
you really shouldn't be
Broken
eating
glass.
sausage.
No, sausage is great.
It's
There was just a
delicious.
new
Okay.
study. Fat's good for you. Carbs
That's
are
it.
out.
Processed meat, though, still the jury's still
That's
out.
it. That's the one nutrition study. It's law now.
Yeah. That's how it is.
I've been in that world for a long time.
The
I read
sausage
a lot
world.
of bodybuilding
I know you do.
literature.
Uh-huh.
They've been talking about the low carb stuff for a while, you know.
But
Hopefully you're not
sausage,
watching because
I just bought 8 hot dog buns for a Deer Hank and John bit, and now I'm like, I need to buy a bunch of hot dogs because I went
Yeah.
home and I was like, I just put up like some slices of turkey in one, and I was like, yeah, that was okay, but I should get some hot dogs. But now I only have 7 buns, and the hot dogs come in a pack of 8.
At least you only bought a normal size hot dog. If you go to Costco, you have to buy 36.
That was my mistake. I have
Whoa.
like.
And then
20
you're
hot
like,
dogs now.
I'm coming over. I need your hot
If you
dogs.
eat 36 hot dogs, you are done with hot dogs.
I've eaten
It's
8
too
hot
much.
dogs and I'm done
Yeah.
with hot dogs.
Oh well, I need
So
8
you have
hot
to
dogs.
get
Okay,
creative.
well-
7.
I can maybe eat one more.
You need to go where the pigeons are.
No.
Just
I don't want to scat the pigeons.
You don't want to scat the pigeons.
what does that mean?
I don't want to scatter the hot dogs for the pigeons. I just
Oh.
stopped my own thought
Okay.
halfway through.
Yeah.
I want those hot dogs, but I don't. But more than the pigeons.
Something, you gotta sell them to your roommates. You're like
Yeah.
50 cents a hot dog. And the thing is,
Set up a hot dog stand in my own house.
there's a lot of people who live there.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
All right. Okay, I have no idea how to choose who goes first.
Who is
Who's
last
listened?
poisoned?
I mean, I'm
Whoa.
literally drinking poison right now, and so is Stefan.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Brought to you
Brought to you by
by.
Big Sky Brewery, maker of Summer Honey and also Scapegoat. If you
Scapegoat.
have too much, you will die.
Well, that's true.
It's true. I mean, it's not like that. That's
not
really not a
news.
good pitch, but it is true of all alcoholic beverages. Drink responsibly,
Yeah.
which we've never said during our shout out, and we
That's
probably
true.
should.
Yeah.
That's true.
Drink responsibly. I have one. I may have 2 today because I have a headache.
Responsibly
Smoke is so
delicious.
smoky. Responsibly delicious.
Is that a good jingle?
Sounds like a like a
Yeah.
cereal thing for
No,
kids.
that's not. It's the Lucky Charms boy.
Lucky
There's a
Charms
boy?
What's his name?
The
Yeah.
leprechaun?
They unmagic
Lucky. Is it Lucky?
Lucky Leprechaun. I want to
Yeah.
say it's Lucky, but maybe it's
Oh,
not.
boy.
Lucky Leprechaun. Yeah, that's his name.
Okay.
You gotta turn off your Google.
What? I need to know these things. Anyway, so Stefan and I are simultaneously being poisoned.
that's
Anybody
okay.
else been recently poisoned?
Not that I know.
The smoke is poisoning us
The
all.
smoke
smoke
is
is probably
poisoning.
pretty bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is not a good way.
Who
to
went
start.
outside most recently?
I was gonna say
I went to
who
my car just before.
Just now? Okay, so
Yeah.
you were
has
most
most
recent.
recently listened to Every Rose Has Its Thorn by
How
the
did I
band
remember that?
Poison.
How the frick? Oh, I remember exactly when they're at last time I listened to that.
September
Poison.
8th, 1992.
Yeah. Every time I hear that opening lick, I run away into the ocean so I don't hear it.
I try not to go outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was outside
Just in
last
general.
at around 1.
I was probably around noon. I went
Okay.
to get lunch.
And were you
Like
before that?
7 a.m.
Okay, you stayed inside all day.
Dang.
Yeah.
Very good at inside.
So
All right. Well,
it was me.
yeah. Do you want to go first, or do you want us to go in reverse order?
Might as well.
Do it.
I'll
Do
it. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
the initiation
um,
begins.
Yeah. So, I'm going to talk about a little bit the history of forensic medicine a little bit.
Okay.
So, today, most time, courtrooms, things, medical examiner comes in, everyone's like, CSI, this person is going to know all the stuff. They're the person we want to pay attention to. That didn't used to be the case at all. Like, up until 1918, they had medical examiners for a while, but at least in New York City, it was a position that the mayor gave to someone he liked. It was just a
It's
crony
like an
thing,
appointee.
and that was true through most of the country. You didn't have to be a doctor. You didn't have to have any credentials. Your job was to write death certificates. Occasionally, they called you into court just for, and yeah, they were a lot of times people. They were like drunks and randos. And, yeah,
We picked the drunk.
yeah, totally. So it had gotten, there was a lot of corruption in New York City, turn of the century, Tammany Hall problems, and the people finally sort of stood up and said, we gotta fix this a little bit. And so they decided to have an actual test to become a medical examiner. And so the people that were appointed were Dr. Charles Norris, Chuck Norris,
Oh, shit.
and Dr. Alexander Gettler in 1918, and they were the most serious science dudes that could have been picked for this. Gettler was the kind of person that the second a new medication or poison hit the market, he would go down to the butcher's shop and buy 3 pounds of liver and then chock them full of all the stuff and then try to do as many tests as he could to figure out what was the smallest amount that he could detect by what process.
I thought he was
They were
gonna
like-
stick it in the liver and he's gonna like feed it to a dog.
Yeah, yeah.
No,
like,
no,
and then he
no.
ate it.
No, they did do dog studies on various things, but it was more to determine stuff like how much chloroform can be in a person before they would die and stuff like that. Because all of these things, there had been little bits of research done here and there, but no one had really done a lot of hard work on it. And tons of stuff was chock full of poison. You could get all sorts of crazy poisons just at the drugstore. Crazy rat poisons were available to everybody. They were fumigating with cyanide. Hydrogen cyanide was used to fumigate houses and buildings. And they ran into problems early on where, because there had been such a long history of people not believing medical examiners had any kind of authority, there was this case where this couple was found in their apartment dead. Looked like cyanide poisoning because they were all crumpled up and awful. And but they couldn't find, there wasn't any cyanide in their apartment. The door was locked. There wasn't any food anywhere or anything. And so they asked all the people at the building. They were like, no, we hadn't fumigated at all. And they did the autopsies, took out the lungs, and they found, yeah, there was cyanide in their lungs. And then they went back and they were like, oh, well, I guess we did fumigate. When it went to trial, the landlords hired their own counter kind of experts that said that all the tests that they had done were, that's bad science.
Right.
No one can tell these things. These aren't real things. And so the people got off. Like they didn't they didn't go to prison.
Fumigated their own people.
Yeah, totally. And it happened like all the time. Yeah, so these folks, like after a few years of doing lots of tests and working really hard, they were finally the people that got forensic medicine to be a thing that was recognized with rigorous study and stuff until they finally were able to start winning cases and proving all their stuff.
So forensic medicine is it's not like specific to somebody being dead already.
No,
it's just
forensic
like solve,
in this case
like,
means dealing with the law.
Okay.
So you could be a forensic entomologist and look at when beetles were found on a corpse, but you could also be the person who goes into a grain silo to prove if the weevils were in the silo or if they were in the cereal boxes in the store. That's also forensic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that is a very specific example. That makes me feel as if you knew a lot about that before. It's like
Sarah knows a lot about everything.
I did a lot of entomology.
Okay. Cool. I had not thought about where the weevil might come from. But it is important to know, I imagine.
Yeah, totally.
Where did the weevil come from? Neat. I had a sort of a similar, like the opposite story was one of the ones that I read about a woman who was convicted of poisoning her child with antifreeze. Anybody come across
Saw
this
the
in
headline.
research? Yeah. And it turned out that her child had a genetic disease that just produced basically the same chemical inside of the child, and they didn't find out soon enough, but she went to jail right after having given birth to another child who had the same disorder. That child was then adopted to another family. They were able to save that child, but then figured out that that baby had the same disease, so they let the lady out of prison and gave her child back.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Nuts.
Yeah. So like that the child was poisoning itself with antifreeze.
That's messed up.
Yeah. Anyway, that's not the one I chose. Yeah, because it's not actually about poison. That's kind of.
It's kind of.
You can you poison yourself?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you can.
You can't. You definitely.
Your body makes it.
But also,
You definitely can poison yourself.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It also makes me think about like your thing about like what kinds of things in 200 years, if we make it, what kinds of things will be like.
Sure.
Man, in 2017 they were, chewing bubble gum or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Those
No,
dummies.
there's always those talks about that various cell phone things are like very long-term experiments because we only know this
We're
amount of
definitely
time.
doing a long-term experiment on ourselves right now with regards to cell phone use.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get pocket cancer, that's for sure. This area right here.
Man.
Like your genes get cancer.
That's gonna happen, right?
This denim is growing out of control.
My hip looks real weird. Sorry, I shouldn't make jokes about cancer. I think it's sugar. I think 100%.
Oh, yeah.
50 years from now, people will be like, "Do you believe that they would buy 2 liters?"
They had a
Coca-Cola?
fucking holiday where all their kids ran around collecting poison.
Yeah, 3 of them a year,
Candy
really.
season.
We do have candy.
It goes from Halloween to Valentine's Day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, man. That's
yeah, it's all the way
Great.
through. And
Yeah.
Easter, is Easter after Valentine's Day?
Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, Easter
So,
is
Oh,
like
man.
the third
Halloween,
half
Easter.
the year.
It's more
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
candy season. We just gotta get ourselves
We gotta
through the
figure out
winter.
how to get candy in July.
We don't
we
need
can all
candy
get
in
around.
July because the sun's out. We just eat hot dogs.
Much better.
Yeah, I do worry. Like, I wonder about hot dogs. Like, what do the hot dog people do in the winter when nobody's grilling?
Oh.
Do they just
I mean,
save up the hot dogs?
I think
Well, they're
people
making
still.
all the rest of the meat that they don't put in the hot dog.
Yeah.
It's everything else. And then in
Yeah.
save they had that
They
all
put it
left
all
over.
in the
Save all the meat through the winter.
Perfect.
I always microwave my hot dogs.
I like my
I never grill them.
I like it. I like it both ways.
Not a griller.
It's definitely less cleanup to microwave.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's what I mean.
But sometimes they explode.
That's fine.
You gotta pork them with a fork. Hook them with a fork.
Poke.
Pork them with a fork. Pork them with a fork, everybody. Is it my turn?
Sure. I mean, I could tell you more about random 1920s poison cases, but
Maybe it will come up.
it might.
Save it.
Yeah.
Save it. All right, you guys. There are so many ways into this one. I did not know how to go. So, cows.
Good.
Occasionally, you injure them in the course of having a cow. You're like, well,
Don't
you know,
have a cow.
yes, you don't have a cow? Good to
No.
hear. Don't have one. But if you have a cow, you will probably hurt it intentionally. You might cut its balls off and make it a steer. You might cut its, not for a cow, but for a bull. You might cut its horns off, even if it is a cow. And that also is a procedure that can result in,
That has a name.
what is it called?
Polling.
What?
Polling.
Spell it.
I think Pole if the
So
singular.
polling.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, because like cows that are born naturally without horns, I think are polled.
Hmm.
It's the
Huh.
term.
Because even lady cows have their horns. They have horns.
I think it depends on the breed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So once upon a time, I'm not going to give you a time. It was like maybe 1900 or something, maybe 1920. These farmers, they were like, hey, we've got cows. Let's do our normal cow stuff. And they started doing normal cow stuff, and the cows fucking died. So they like take the nuts off the cow, and the cow just bled until it died. They take the horns off the cow just bled until it died.
Mhm.
And they did not know what was happening for a long time. But science happened. I apologize for not having all my facts straight, but I closed the tab, and so now I just have the Wikipedia article, which is less specific than the article I was reading. And so eventually they found that that they were eating sweet clover, which is a thing that's perfectly normal and very good. Cows love it. It's called sweet clover because it smells sweet, not because it tastes sweet. But it had sort of gotten a little rotten. And what it had gotten rotten with was fungus. And the fungus was turning one of the molecules in the sweet clover, which is actually the thing that makes it smell sweet, called coumarin, into something else. And that something else was a molecule that inhibited the cow's ability to create vitamin K, and that inhibited their ability to create blood clotting factors. And that meant that when they got poked, they just kept bleeding until they died.
Jeez.
Wow.
So that's the first step of the story. Second
Okay.
step of the story, somebody's like, well, let's try, like, this is the very beginnings of organic chemistry. They're like, let's try to replicate this molecule so we can figure out exactly what it is. They replicate the molecule, and then they make a tiny, tiny amount of it. They feed it to some mice. The mice get blood disorders and die. Then they figure out how to make more and more of it, and they're like, this is a really good way of killing mice, it turns out. So they turn it into a rodent killer. And so they turn it into rat poison. They use it for rat poison for a long, long time, until 1950 something. Really specific, but you're not gonna fucking remember anyway. It's 1950 something. A guy in the army is feeling super down, tries to kill himself by eating a bunch of this rat poison. They take him to the hospital and they give him vitamin K. And this is another thing. Like, poisons have antidotes. I always thought that was kind of a magical mystery, like just a made up thing, that poisons have antidotes. But in this case, what this poison does is it prevents your body from creating vitamin K. And so if you give the body vitamin K, it's okay again. So you just have to keep giving vitamin K until the poison leaves the system. So there are antidotes. So this was a known antidote to this poison. They give him vitamin K and he's okay. And then they're like, well, wait a second. So this actually, we were able to, like he ate a lot of this stuff and he was okay. Like he wasn't like fine, but he survived. He had a whole lot of rat poison, and they discover that indeed it can be a really good thing to thin people's blood if they have clotting disorders or if they've had recent heart attacks. And so they go from cows bleeding out their balls to death to Coumadin, which is one of the most prescribed medications in America. It was first prescribed in the 1950s. One of the first people who got it was President Eisenhower after he had a heart attack. And it's also called warfarin, which was the brand name of the rat poison.
Yeah.
Is it Wayfarin?
Warfarin is how it's pronounced according to this
okay.
on the Wikipedia page. Worf, like Lieutenant Commander of the Enterprise. Yeah, so that's how we got warfarin.
Huh. Can I just say, holy fucking science.
Yeah, you may.
So it's not the same thing as like digitalis.
I don't
right?
think so.
It just does a similar thing.
Yeah.
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 Huh.
Yeah, there's a few blood thinners out there,
Right,
but it's one of the big ones, and it's called Coumadin after Coumarol and warfarin.
Yeah.
Put them together.
Crazy.
Yeah. And now it's generic, and you can buy it for $25. If your doctor tells you you can't just go to the store and get some. But they do not have it as rat poison anymore. Probably
Well,
so that
probably
people
got
will
better.
pay the $25 instead of just getting the $2.50 rat poison.
That was the thing.
Which is a thing people are doing now.
Buying rat
Have you
poison.
heard about this? No, they're like fish. Like there's. Sorry, I'm going into uncharted territory here, unresearched for the last 2 weeks. People are buying antibiotics that are made for other animals because antibiotics made for people are too expensive. So their doctor prescribes them some antibiotics, and instead they just order fish antibiotics off the internet. One guy died recently because he took cow antibiotics, which turns out
Heard about that.
are a little bit stronger
Yeah.
Oh
than
God.
human antibiotics because of how they're like 8 or 10 times bigger than humans.
Yeah.
Which, the thing I've heard though is that for most medications, body weight actually doesn't
Oh.
matter,
Hmm.
which I think is weird. Because
Yeah.
you would expect body weight,
Yep.
or I expected body weight.
Yeah, you would think
Why doesn't
dosage
it?
would
I don't
be-
know.
It might be that it's more about your metabolism than it is
Yeah.
about how much body you
Yeah.
have.
Mhm.
And so it might make more sense to say like, well, a person in their 20s metabolizes things much faster than a person in their 80s.
Oh, sure.
I have to go into the doctor every month to make sure that I continue to metabolize my medicine at the same rate,
Yeah.
because if I don't, I could get really sick. Interesting. Yeah.
I know it is a weird thing with people who do exotic animals that like a great big house cat and a bobcat of the same size, you can't give them the same medication. They do metabolize things differently. I know that it's particularly a problem with if they put them under for a surgery. The anesthetic can be, that's why if you have a weird exotic animal, if it goes in, it might not
Come
unless
out.
you have a really good exotic
Right.
vet who's done it before.
That's actually a similar thing they tell, like we are supposed to, when we had a greyhound, we were supposed to tell the anesthesiologist that like just so you know, greyhounds are different. Are you aware that greyhounds are different? I don't know. We had to say that every time we took them in to get like a surgery, which was more than one time. And they'd be like, yep, greyhounds are different. I don't know why, but apparently they are.
Code.
Yeah. If you didn't know greyhounds are different, look it up.
They're
Look
different.
look at the book.
Google it right now.
Yeah, before you cut my dog open.
I want that just to be like a coupon code. Like you go in with a certain pen, you're like, greyhounds are different. Wink.
Free shipping, boy. Anybody got any questions about warfarin? Because I probably don't know the answer. Don't make sure you know what your cows are eating before you cut their balls off.
Just know.
Just not gonna have cows, I think.
It was something like 21 of 22 of the cows died.
Oh, that'd be rough.
Yeah.
Gee whiz.
That's
your livelihood, man.
Yeah, it's your livelihood. It's probably not great for the cows either.
No, true.
It's
They're dead.
It's like I was having a really bad day to start with, and now I'm dead.
Yeah, plus like the pools of blood too, because it's a blood thinner,
just
so
keeps
they
bleeding.
would just
Yeah.
be
Yikes.
so messy.
Yeah.
So that's where your blood thinner came from. It's all thanks to some dead cows and a guy in the army who tried to kill himself.
Thanks.
And also some scientists.
Yeah,
I think.
Oh, yeah,
I went
yeah,
out
yeah.
outside
You went outside.
I'm the
Yeah.
hermit.
Into the poison air.
into the poison air.
It's like H1Z1 out there. It's like
You bring up
battlegrounds.
H1Z1 a lot.
It's
on
like
this.
battlegrounds. The speed, the circle's getting narrower and narrower,
Yeah.
and the air is
Wait.
injuring us as we
Oh,
stay.
I
We're
see what you- I
outside of
see what you're
we're outside of
getting
the zone of
Sure,
shooting.
I'll give you that one.
I don't know if I know H1Z1.
What?
What is that?
This is video game.
Oh. See, that stuff I know.
The only thing Sarah doesn't know about.
This is good to follow yours because mine is kind of similar. It's a poison that we discovered that has a weird use now. So, and it has been in probably most of our eyes at one point.
Oh,
What's been
wait.
in my eyes?
I mean, a lot of things have been in my eyes.
Whoa!
I have diseased eyes.
Oh, no. He's tried everything. What else can I put in here to try to fix my eyes? Beer.
Oh,
Okay.
I haven't tried beer yet.
Something that's been in my eyes.
I don't come into work tomorrow.
You're blind.
Yeah.
You were eye vaping beer.
Yeah, very literal beer goggles.
Eye vaping.
The
I
vapor
vaping.
sphere
Yeah, like
into
the
the
vapor
eye.
sphere into the
Oh
eye.
God.
Blow that alcohol straight on your eyeball. I'm sure that feels good.
Well, this poison is called atropine.
I think I've heard of
I've
that.
heard of it.
Yeah, it's probably something you've heard of. I think we've mentioned it before at some point.
I think they use it in the movie The Rock.
I've never seen the movie The Rock.
Nicolas Cage.
Tuna's really unhappy about this.
Unhappy?
Have you seen The Rock?
Did I? Oh, okay. I was like, did I get it wrong? I'm pretty sure this is what Nicolas Cage injects into his heart
Oh.
when
should
he's
he kill
exposed to a
himself?
thing.
Oh, yeah,
Oh.
that's entirely
Okay.
possible.
Okay.
So it was originally used in the 16th century. Italian women would use drops of atropine, which came from deadly nightshade berries, to dilate their pupils.
Was it belladonna?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it comes from the plant Atropa, I think, belladonna. And dilated pupils were seen as apparently an attractive thing. I don't know why.
Yeah, super weird.
Oh, yeah. It looks like anime eyes.
Yeah, anime eyes, but like 16th century anime
Yeah.
eyes before anime was a thing.
You just draw them or something.
No, apparently not. You just need those big dark circles to stare into the void in someone else's face.
Hank is watching the scene from The Rock right now.
It's true. It did not look like a good time.
No. That was mostly from the poison, though, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
not the
anyways.
acting.
At least, man, do not make fun of Nicolas Cage in my
I'm
house.
so sorry. I don't think I might have seen the Declaration of Independence one,
Yeah.
Oh,
point.
National Treasure. Is
That
that
Yeah,
the one?
sure.
but I've not seen very many
I'll,
Nicolas Cage.
well, we gotta have, a,
adaptation.
if we do
Or-
Moonstruck
Wilder
night
Park.
upstairs, I'll come for that. Speed?
Not Speed. Wait. What am I
Speed is
thinking
not
of?
Nicolas Cage.
No.
Just
Oh,
some
shit,
other
I'm-
brunette
Ghostwriter?
dude.
Tuna's gonna
Yeah.
kill
I don't know what
us
I'm
by the end
thinking
of
of.
this.
Why did I think of Speed?
I don't know.
Not
That's not it. Yeah, unless he's
Yeah,
got a
it's-
little cameo. Anyway, sorry. Atropine,
Oh.
making your eyes look big.
Making your eyes look big, and it does this by blocking acetylcholine receptors. So acetylcholine is a neurotransmitter. It's released by nerve cells, and the receptors are in muscle cells. And basically, it sets off a pathway that causes your muscle cells to constrict and contract. So when you drop it in your pupils, what it does is atropine blocks the receptor part of it. So even though acetylcholine is being released, like no signal happens and your muscles can't contract, so your pupils are just like yoink.
I will say
Why?
that these Victorian,
16.
something.
You said
Oh,
16.
way before
That's
Victoria.
Victoria.
Okay,
I
so
think
these,
they also used
it's-
it in the Victorian.
yeah.
think
So these
loosely
ladies had
Renaissance
something here because I have read stories that pupil dilation does connect with attractiveness, and also your pupils will dilate when you see someone you are attracted to, which is like a signal to other people.
Yeah, I've heard that too. I don't know how real that is.
Okay,
But
I trust your bullshit sniffer.
oh, I don't know. I think my bullshit sniffer is like fake unless proven true by some reason.
Well, I think
Yeah.
that's a good default
that's probably
a
position.
good
Not too
place.
bad.
So
Yeah.
psychology of attractiveness.
Mhm.
Check it out on SciShow's Egg. And so because it can block acetylcholine receptors, it can do a whole bunch of bad things. It can, for some reason, make your heart beat really fast. And I was trying to figure out the mechanism behind it, and then I decided to do my normal work instead. And so I never figured it out. But I'm guessing it just like messes with the way your muscles depolarize. And it can inhibit your salivary glands, which is why like dry mouth or you stop sweating when this happens for some reason. And it can lead to seizures and all kinds of bad stuff if you get atropine poisoned. But it is also the antidote for another poison, which is a nerve gas.
That's
Like
why.
sarin.
That's
One in the rock.
That's why
One in the rock.
Nicolas Cage shot himself in the heart with
Uh-huh.
atropine, because he
Well.
got poisoned with sarin gas.
That's it. And
I don't know if he measured out the dose very carefully,
you
but
just kind of like,
yep.
and then, but yeah, and I thought that was really weird because you're being poisoned by this very horrible thing, and then
Yeah.
it's just like, I'm going to inject
Yeah.
more
Extra
poison in
poison.
my
But
stomach.
so in that case, is it just balancing it out, and so you're just neutral?
Yeah, what
Okay.
you're doing is you're basically, so the poison, sarin gas works, also interferes with acetylcholine, but what it does is sarin and other nerve gases, the molecule is in such a shape that there's an enzyme that breaks down acetylcholine normally, so you can like rush of acetylcholine, it makes your muscles do their thing, it gets broken down, and then your muscles have time to recharge, and then like that cycle goes back and forth again and again. But sarin blocks that enzyme, so acetylcholine never gets broken down. So you just have like a bunch of acetylcholine floating around in your system, and your muscles are just keep going and going and going and going
Yeah.
until you wear yourself out, and you never get a chance to reset.
And then you just stop being able to, like, your lungs
Yeah.
don't work anymore.
Yeah, your
Like,
lungs.
your diaphragm stops diaphragming.
Yeah, your
It's
heart
not a
stops
fun way to
farting, your
go.
diaphragm starts diaphragming, and it's
Yeah.
just like
All of
sad,
those things.
sad thing.
Yeah.
And so what it does is by blocking the receptors, even though you have all this extra acetylcholine floating around, you block the receptors so they can't send a signal anymore.
So it lets you relax for a bit.
Yeah, so it lets you relax for a second. And the way all this stuff is happening on a molecular level, it's all probability. So things are binding and unbinding and hitting each other and
yeah.
not. So all those pauses in between gives your muscles enough time to like recharge and then fire again and recharge and do it. And then usually, apparently, when you inject atropine to resist against nerve gases, then you also inject another chemical called pralidoxine, I think, or something else that can bind to the nerve gas molecules and just make it like a lump so that it can't
Right.
interact with the enzyme anymore, and you can flush it out of your system. So it's like a two-part.
Yeah.
I don't know if Nicolas Cage put that in his heart.
Maybe
too.
maybe it was just a preloaded syringe that had all of it in there. I don't
it
remember.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so are we talking about why it's in my eyes? Because I've got a guess.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
you can guess.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Well, it's just
yeah,
when you go to the
when
eye
when I
doctor
get
and
my
they dilate your
so next time I
eyes.
get my pupils dilated, I can be like, let me tell you all about my friend Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, I'm sure eye doctor would love it. I think there are other chemicals that they use now in modern eye drops. Like there are several ways, but atropine is one of them. That can be
I'll
very-
ask, is it atropine? Can
Yeah.
you inject it into my heart in case I get sarin gas poisoning right now in the middle of the mall?
Or next time you get it done, you just do it up and like wear a Jacobean ruff and like
Yeah.
Mm.
And then I'll have
Look at-
these big,
look at
open,
good
beautiful
now.
eyes.
Yeah.
Go back to the catheter and just be like,
Hey,
"Notice
take
anything
take off
different?"
my weird film glasses that go over my glasses.
Oh,
And we're like,
Yep.
let's watch an Amazon original
Something
series.
really dark.
Yeah.
Very sensitive.
Yeah, Amazon original series and chill doesn't have the same ring to it.
20
No.
syllables.
Oh. Amazon Prime Video. and
Amazon-
chill. That's fine.
Mhm.
Because you can't just say Amazon and chill, because then it's like shopping.
Yeah.
Like we're gonna get some cat litter and
Go online shopping.
smooch.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, it could if you've got those like, what do they call them? The like
The
dash
buttons?
buttons.
Yeah.
Just put them next to the bed, and then you're like,
We're gonna-
Amazon and chill.
I'm tired.
yeah, yeah.
I was accidentally at a friend's house and I hit their dash button
Oh,
a couple
no.
times because I thought it was the light for the kitchen.
Oh no! So first of all,
Well,
you were accidentally at a friend's house.
What? Yeah, you know, I put that adverb in the wrong place. Intentionally at a friend's house, accidentally hit the button.
Yeah. I was accidentally at a friend's house, but I meant to buy 8 boxes of Tide for them.
Yeah. Because paper towels, maybe?
Yeah. I mean, you can't have too many paper towels.
Yeah, that was the thing.
They'll go through it.
Mhm.
Did it work and it ordered paper towels?
I think because I pushed it twice, they got a notification like, did you mean to do this?
Oh.
Or was it a child?
Yeah, or was it like,
Was it?
yes, was it a 20-year-old child?
Try to turn the lights
Really
on
don't
and buying paper towels.
Yeah.
I don't get those buttons.
I think it's really cool. I don't have
Just
any.
go, just go on your computer and.
No, man. Every moment counts. It's all about efficiency.
I guess I'm on my computer all the time anyway.
It takes forever to
Right
order
there.
paper towels on Amazon. It's like a click and a half.
Oh man,
It's like a click, maybe 2.
I feel like I've wasted so much time going to the store.
Oh, I love going to the store though. It's never a waste of time to go to the food farm. It's a wonderful place.
Yeah.
I had a
Walking
friend-
around the store. Oh, go.
I had a friend who programmed a pizza button on the room to their wall, so they could just like hit it, and then it went through some API for an app and ordered them.
It's like a Raspberry Pi thing, or?
Yeah, I think so.
Huh.
So that, like, saved them
Why
a
doesn't
amount of time.
Domino's do that? Domino's should have a pizza button.
Yeah.
Now that I actually do. I understand the button for pizza.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Paper towels. Nah.
There should be a button for pizza, but maybe should it be more than just a button? Because it doesn't cost that much to make these things anymore. So it could be you hit the pizza button, and then you hit what toppings you want, and then you hit the pizza button.
Now it's getting complicated.
I feel like it has to be an emergency thing. Like you have it under like a little plastic thing,
Right,
and then
so you
when
can't
when you pull out dinner
accidentally-
and it looks horrible, you just
Pizza.
Push the button.
yeah,
Let's just go watch TV.
yeah.
Cry
Oh
until the
man, no, it
pizza
should be
gets
glass
here.
and there should be a tiny hammer.
I mean, if the marketing department at Amazon at Domino's has not thought of this yet, we just made them millions of dollars.
Mhm.
This is legitimately a very
We
good
should patent
idea.
this.
Yeah, we can
A
do
pizza
it.
button.
I feel like it's not that hard to do.
It's easy to do. I don't think
Yeah.
it's easy to patent. I think that it would be
Yeah.
a difficult patent to get. But no, I don't know. Maybe we could start up a company really fast and have Domino's buy us.
Mhm.
I don't think that they're super flush right now though.
You also try to get better
know.
pizza for this book.
Is Domino's having a hard time? Domino's is my #1 for pizza delivery.
Don't tell Stefan. I don't know. I have no idea. I had Domino's recently and I was actually pleasantly surprised. I
I
enjoyed
hear
it.
with your fake Domino news.
Get
outta here. Going back to your thing for half a second.
The poison.
Oh,
Not even the poison.
Oh.
You mentioned muscle depolarization.
I did.
What does that mean?
This is the part of molecular bio that is fuzzy in my head. I think what it is so
Just the one part.
Just the one.
This is the only thing.
This is everything is fuzzy. I have an approximate knowledge of many things.
There, I'm there with you, girl.
Yeah. The rest is bullshit. So acetylcholine binds to a receptor, and that opens an ion channel, and calcium, I think, floods into a muscle, and that calcium enables the actin and myosin filaments to walk along and contract all at once. And then when that closes, when the acetylcholine's gone, then the muscle cell pumps out calcium again, back into the extracellular fluid.
And so you have basically the cell is charged. So there's a charge inside the cell that's different from the charge outside the cell, which creates an ion potential which you can use to do stuff with.
Yes.
And so if it's depolarized, that differential doesn't exist anymore, which means that it can't do its thing.
I guess what I'm trying to figure out is, can we use that chemical to create a bodybuilding supplement? And we can start a company. If this button thing might not work out here. So I'm trying to come up with some other ideas, some other avenues.
I feel like I've heard acetylcholine talked about in muscle supplements.
I don't know.
Choline? You would know.
I've never heard of acetylcholine in bodybuilding.
What am I thinking of?
I don't know.
Yeah, maybe it's just Domino's.
So like
just pizza.
use a poison to just be like work out your
And,
muscles
like,
without working out anything.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
sure.
that's what I'm here for.
That's
Tell
what I
me
mean,
when
yeah.
science gets there.
Where's the
Just
chemical that lets me work out while I'm sleeping?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Well, there's the
Why
crazy little
This
electro
is so hard.
doodad.
Those are stupid.
Oh, unlike this.
This is a great idea. There's one myostatin inhibitor.
Look at it, acetylcholine
Oh, really?
supplements. Look at it. It's
All
it's got the font that makes me feel like this is
Damn
definitely for dudes. It's called Alpha Brain.
Wait, so
It's for memory and focus. It's not for the
so
muscles.
it's about getting your
But
brain
look at that
swole.
font though. That makes
Damn it!
Oh,
that
yeah.
makes me feel like
Oh,
it's
yeah,
definitely
no.
for
I
dudes.
don't care about my brain thing.
The guy's wearing
The
his hat
muscles,
backwards.
yeah.
Yeah.
I need freakish triceps.
Your triceps are lovely.
They're not freakish. There's so on the Reddit. I don't know if it was on the front page. It was on my front page yesterday.
Yeah.
There was a video of a guy who had the headline was like "Guy with freakish triceps sings happy birthday to his daughter."
Oh my God.
And it's like literally that, and all of his videos are like the same thumbnail of him like flexing.
That's his one
It's
thing.
pretty great.
Is his tricep.
Are you looking?
Is he flexing the whole video?
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
boy.
Like the angle is primarily focused on his arm.
Wow. I'd like to think all his family photos are probably like that too.
I can't
Like-
imagine they're not.
I'm upset by the
Pretty
fact
good.
that I was
You
not
can't find
able.
it.
I was not able to find this immediately.
This is underground shit. It's not mainstream yet.
Oh, my triceps are really not freakish.
I'm gonna try that Alpha Brain.
They're aggressively below average.
I don't know if that's true.
Look,
Aggressively below average.
where is it? Where is it, Stefan? Where's my
It's right there. I
tricep?
feel it. I feel some firmness. It's good. It's good. You do Pilates.
Then we do some tricep stuff
We
in
do
there,
some
but it's
tricep
mostly core, to be clear.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's not stuff that you
But
can
that's,
see.
that's important
You
stuff.
can't like look at the core and be like,
Stabilizing the trunk.
look at his ripped
is
core.
very
But
important.
it's there. It's in there.
Yeah,
It's in there. I got all that. And like sometimes I almost fall down and I catch myself and I'm like,
that's what
Pilates
you need
just
it
saved
for.
me from maybe something bad
No,
happening.
when you're 80, you still need to tie your shoes. You need a core to like get down there.
Anyway, boy, what's your
I don't know.
what's
Okay.
your topic?
Um,
Because it's already 6 o'clock. I don't know how.
Oh,
this happened.
sorry. I'm good at derailing things.
You are.
So for an episode about poisons, I wanted to talk about things that seemed poisonous but weren't actually. So things that you can eat that you would think that you shouldn't be able to eat.
I'd like to think that the research was you just going through your house.
Yeah, did you just?
It's like,
He was like, "Oh, this magnet
So-
was a bad idea."
disclaimer. These are not poisonous, but Holy Fucking Science does not recommend that any viewers taste any of these things. You may end up with a similar thing that is actually toxic.
Okay.
Check with your physicians. Check with your rap. I don't know.
You're right.
I don't know. Check with anyone. Be supervised. Get some atropine. Make sure. I don't know. I just. So okay. So on the list of things, which this one is not surprising, so we'll start very mundane, is paper. Like, you can eat paper, it's not a food, but like, really,
One of
you
the
don't,
first things my son ate was paper. Like other than breast milk, he had like,
atropine.
he had breast milk and like
And
rice
paper.
cereal and paper.
Oh my God.
He found a Post-it note and he
Oh.
ate it.
It's got adhesives.
He ate it and he ate that Post-it note
Uh-huh.
and I was like, "What is in your mouth right now?" And it was a Post-it note and I was like, went to grab it out of his mouth and then I had nothing and there was nothing in there anymore and I was like, "Well,
It's
okay,
fine.
I
Were
guess
there-
we'll talk about that with Catherine
Were there baby
after
secrets
he's not
on
dead."
the note?
What?
Were there baby secrets on the note? Is he in some baby spy ring? that he
Yeah,
saw
no,
you
yeah,
coming?
yeah, yeah. There was a baby secret, and he had to
Oh
eat
my
the
God.
evidence. That's totally
Oh
what it
man.
was.
But so paper itself it's just sort of like fiber, like non-digestible.
Yeah.
You know, helps keep you regular, whatever. I don't know if that's true.
I think so.
Probably though, 'cause
Probably.
it's cellular. So I mean,
Yeah.
it's a similar thing. So But the ink in paper is not great for you. So, don't, graph paper or like, if you've written on the paper or things are printed on it, not great. But paper itself, that's fine. You can eat that. No problem. So the next. This is the guy.
Oh my god.
Look at that angle.
His close-ups are so big.
Because 14 years ago, on this very day, I received a miracle.
This is what I imagine you go home from work.
I was given a beautiful baby girl.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, that's it.
And
Wait, he's about to sing. Oh, I'm sorry. He's about to sing.
And he said 14?
Happy birthday to you.
You don't even
Gosh.
see his daughter.
Yeah, no.
This is
I
for
feel
his
like-
daughter to see.
I feel like the
First
first busy
thing-
working out to spend time with her.
Yeah, the first thing she learned how to do was roll her eyes, I assume, with this guy.
Birthday to you.
I tell you what, he was not meant to be a vocalist. Yeah, no, I don't think that was on the front page. I think that was on your front page. Hell, especially
Oh, okay.
Stefan Chin.
So it's on the deep into YouTube
Yeah.
Reddit, which I
You
am
subscribe
subscribed to.
Okay.
Because it's interesting when you get deep into YouTube.
Yeah. Wow, that was
Fun stuff in
amazing,
there.
and thank you. It's called Man with Cartoonishly Large
Oh, sorry.
Triceps.
Sorry.
Creepily wishes daughter happy birthday. His entire channel is a gold mine of
Yeah.
near identical videos.
I want to know if this man owns shirts with sleeves.
Why would he? They wouldn't go over his arms.
In the comments, they comment about his like amazing thumbnail consistency. Like they've never seen.
I want
He
to
has
see the channel now.
his nickname is Steve Papa Pipes Putnam
That shouldn't
because
be
he's
the thing.
Papa Pipes. Pipes.
That would be not the nickname.
Oh, sorry. His
Wait, what's-
nickname is Papa Pipes.
Oh, his nickname is Papa Pipe.
Yeah.
But still, that's like the wrong nickname to choose.
That's
It's
a
not
decent
tricep
nickname,
related,
though.
It's singing related.
I think that's a decent name.
No, he's
Oh,
pipes.
no, it's his gut,
Oh.
his
I've
I've never
muscles.
heard pipes as
Me
muscles.
neither, but it makes sense. If he walks into the gym and you're like, "Sup, Papa Pipes? Good to see you."
He's really into his triceps. His forearms don't exist. They're tiny.
I bet he doesn't work out his forearms to
Oh.
increase the contrast.
I mean,
It's like
they're
opposite
Hank Green
Popeye.
sized forearms.
It's like the guy in Lady in the Water who only worked out one arm.
I only worked out one arm.
Wait, what?
Sorry, no, I was making a masturbation
Yeah.
joke, but
Oh.
I should have said you only work out one arm, but I said I only work out one arm.
You know, that's what Holy Fucking Science is for. We work out our jokes here first before we use them in real life. Okay, so the next thing
Yeah, what can we eat?
that
Stefan?
doesn't really seem like you should be able to eat this, but you can, is tanned hides. So like leather.
like my shoes.
Oh, sure.
Hold up!
Whoa.
Hold your horses, Papa Pipe. Back up. So apparently, according to this article, Native Americans used to do this when like times were tough. They would like,
I heard that
Dig
on
into
the
the
Irish
leather?
potato famine too, that they would eat their shoes.
yeah, and it's like you have to like boil it for a while
Mm.
Sure.
to get it digestible.
Seems like
I guess,
it shouldn't though, because like a lot of weird stuff goes in, but maybe it all
Yeah,
comes
I
out.
don't know.
Mhm.
But so modern leather is treated with a lot of random
Yeah.
stuff that you actually don't want to eat. So
Sure, okay. I shouldn't
so
eat
if
my
you-
shoes.
yeah, well, just go.
I wouldn't
Get the
anyway, because like
local,
per
get you
calorie,
organic.
extremely expensive.
Although
Well,
if,
that's
like,
also true. Yes.
if Earl Morris makes a bet with you, then you have to eat it, like
the
Werner
whole-
Herzog did.
Earl Morris?
Yeah, the Oh, you know,
The
yeah, the documentarian. Like, he
Oh.
was friends. He did Fog of War and
He's like,
That sounds familiar now.
and Fast, Cheap, and Out of Control and The Thin Blue Line and
he's like Ken Burns, but not.
not at all.
Not at all.
But yeah, he had worked with Werner Herzog on a few different things, and he was always talking about making films. And Werner Herzog said, "If you actually make this film, I will eat my shoe."
Ah.
And he made
I've
the
heard that
film,
story.
and so Werner Herzog ate his shoe at the premiere.
Wow.
Wow.
Did he
Yeah.
boil it?
Was it a leather
Yeah. Les Blank made a film about
Can
a
you
short
eat
film.
other
A
about it.
short film about him eating a shoe.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yes.
Meta bullshit. I love it. These
Nice
pretentious
meta
assholes
bullshit.
are great. I love it. Werner Herzog eating his own shoe.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, what else can I eat, Stefan?
So apparently you can eat crayons. It seems
They're non-toxic.
This seems so weird.
Can you just eat like candles? Because
I don't
like
know.
a
I
crayon
don't
is
know.
basically
Crayons,
just
it's
a
just
colored
colored
candle.
wax. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess so.
Can I eat a candle? Google.
Yeah, Google it.
Siri, can I eat a candle?
And I feel like maybe parents know these things more because they have like buy this shit, but like,
Parent.
well,
I don't know.
too
He's
young.
not- he's
Too
not
young.
candles, yes.
I don't know. It's been so long since I've used crayons and other school supplies.
Medline Plus says candles are made out of wax. Candle poisoning occurs when someone swallows candle wax. This can happen by accident or on purpose.
Huh.
This article is
So
not
accident-
information. Is for information only. Do not use it to
Accidentally-
treat or
That's-
manage actual poison exposure.
Yeah, this podcast is for information only. Do not eat any of the things that I'm telling you
I
you
wonder
can
the
eat.
accidental ingestion of candles. I assume that's you have a bowl of wax fruit, and so
Yeah.
it's like,
Oh.
oh,
My first thought
Then
was
you
like
get spit
you're
out.
trying to have a sexy time
I
and you
thought
like
sexy
pour
time
hot
candles,
wax
too.
and then it's like it's in my mouth.
I mean, there's a bigger problem, which is all of the hot wax in your mouth. Oh, remember these lips? The lips
Wait, what?
with the wax
Oh,
lips?
yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
you put those wax
Yeah.
lips in your mouth and you
Oh.
were okay.
I don't.
I remember those, and they would get soft as you had them in your mouth.
I never
and then-
had them.
Yeah, it didn't taste like
I
anything,
didn't
but it
know
didn't.
this.
I didn't get poisoned.
So you can eat fucking crayons.
Hey, this person on Quora says nothing. You'll poop it out. It can't be digested.
But if you eat too much,
Retired general internist, former intensive care physician.
oh, there you go.
Cheers.
with all of this stuff,
Yeah.
if you eat too much, like you're
Right.
like
So,
if
yeah.
you eat any of it, you're looking
Don't-
at probably stomach aches.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If you eat too
don't-
much, like blockages, like that's
So
Yeah, and like don't go to Yankee Candle and just eat the shit.
Yeah.
There's a lot
Those
in
are
there.
expensive.
And I assume the
That's
weird
the main
smell
reason.
stuff.
Yeah,
they
they
put in
have
it
like
is
maple
probably
though, and I'm
bad.
like, ooh, maple, like maple syrup, because I like that.
Put this on my pancakes.
Oh.
What else can I eat?
Chalk.
Oh,
So, like-
sure, yeah, chocolate.
Yeah, it's just
completely
fucking
inert.
calcium.
Yeah.
If you have a
Calcium carbonate,
deficiency,
yeah.
just munch on some chalk while you're doing a little sidewalk art. No problem.
Just grind up, put it in your smoothie.
Put it in. You know, I do like a chalky smoothie.
Do you?
Yeah. When I go to Jamba Juice, which we don't have in Missoula yet, I'm talking to you, Jamba. Come on down.
And make a button so I can.
I need a Jamba button. Drone delivery? Is that a thing yet? What was I even saying?
Yeah.
Oh, I get like
Top pipes.
3 times the protein boost
Oh,
because
yeah.
it makes it chalky.
Oh, you get a bunch of so that you can get those pipes.
Well, yeah, you also have to work out to get that.
You can't just eat
You
a bunch
can't
of
just
food.
have Jamba Juice.
Okay.
Yeah. So chalk. But the one that I was most surprised by, and again, this one I feel like people are going to be like, you didn't know this, but so Elmer's school glue
Yeah.
Sure.
is like, I mean, like a lot of people seem to know that it is a non-toxic thing, but to me, like, you're eating glue. Like, what? How the fuck is that not?
Well, it's cool.
It's petroleum based. It's so weird.
So is candles.
It's so
Yeah.
weird.
And
Yeah.
Vaseline and lots of food dyes.
Yeah, and like
Yeah.
most of a chicken nugget.
I do love chicken nuggets.
Well, you really
Okay.
shouldn't eat chicken nuggets. Those are poisonous.
Get off my business.
Two versus
Chicken
one.
nuggets are one of the best foods, and I think they're one of the.
This is.
I was talking to somebody who was high up at McDonald's, and they said to
What are
me,
you-
as a way of defending McDonald's,
Is this how you use your fame?
a way of defending McDonald's, like being pretty healthy. They were like, one of our most popular items is one of our lowest calorie items, which is the 6-piece chicken nuggets, and people get that as a full meal, which is a completely normal amount of calories for a full meal.
I do not get the 6 for full meal.
So Ceri,
Yeah, 20 or 30.
like, yeah, the
Wait,
Burger,
30
Burger
chicken
King.
McNuggets?
Wasn't it? Isn't it 40 for $5 at Burger King? Is that what you were telling
it's
me?
like 40 for $5
Yeah.
at Burger King.
What? I've never had a Burger King chicken nugget. I don't go to
McDonald's are
Burger King because
better.
they put sesame seeds on fucking everything.
Whoa.
McDonald's chicken nuggets are better than Burger King. I live closer to Burger King.
McDonald's is on my way home, so like,
It's-
shit.
Fucking 2 blocks further to McDonald's.
Let's fight about it.
Oh, man.
I've been having
Wendy's
this is an
chicken nuggets are the
ongoing
best
argument.
chicken nuggets. Caitlin and me.
Witness!
Whoa.
Say word.
What
Anyway.
about Chick-fil-A? I mean,
Well,
they're
Chick-fil-A
garbage
isn't in
people,
Missoula, so it doesn't
but-
count. And they're also
Yeah.
Yeah, those are the only things. Those are the things that I have.
I thought you were gonna
I
get to
just-
like things people ate as stunts, like bicycles and stuff.
Yeah, there was that guy who ate a whole plane.
Wait, what? Yeah.
What?
Guy who ate
That's
a
it.
That's
That
what
just
it
plane.
means.
seems like
Like
it's
people
not-
that wanted to get some Guinness World Records were
His
just
name
like, I'll
is
eat
Michel Lotito, better known as Monsieur Mangetot, which apparently translates to Mr. Eats All.
Oh my gosh.
Certainly lived up to his nickname. The Frenchman has eaten everything from bicycles, including the spokes, to an entire Cessna 150 airplane.
How long did it take him?
A while.
like-
Weird. So that's all. That's my
Chewing
yeah.
on a plane.
That's all I got. It took him a while. He died in 2007, shortly after his 57th birthday.
See,
He died of natural causes, in
Yeah,
quotation marks. Yes, I imagine 9 tons of metal that passed through his digestive system had nothing to do with his
took
passing.
some
Just your typical
Typical,
57. I've had 2 beers now.
Oh, wow.
57-year-old Frenchman with an appetite for airplanes and the digestive system that could handle a hard-boiled egg. Natural causes. Don't worry about it.
could handle a hard-boiled egg.
I don't know. It's what it says in the article. Here at Tailgate
Michelle?
Fan.
I feel like that's everyone.
Maybe with shell.
Literally everyone.
Yeah, did he pass? Wait. Let me see if he ate and passed an undigested hard-boiled egg.
How did that choke to
He
death?
had trouble eating, he had trouble eating hard-boiled eggs
Oh.
Oh.
and bananas.
Oh my
As
gosh.
like,
those
too
those
normal.
upset his digestive system, and he was like, I'd rather have a spoke.
These
Oh my God.
self-sufficient
Rather-
foods.
Yeah, I'd rather have a part of
How
this
does-
airplane's
did he-
window.
How did he like puree
I don't know.
the metal?
I was imagining,
Can
like,
you?
But apparently-
How do you eat it?
Apparently, this was a thing that was not just for fun.
Seems like it
He
would
also
poke you.
he had that disease pica, which a medical
Oh.
condition that causes people to crave to eat things such as dirt, glass.
Gotcha.
He just turned it into his thing.
Yeah, and he made it his thing. He was like, I'm gonna lean into it.
I mean, that's fair. I just don't know how you survive.
Wear it like armor.
Yeah.
And no one can use it to
Yeah,
hurt
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm down for
you.
that.
Wear your pica like armor, Michel Lotito.
Stefan, I thought you were going to talk about the poison dart frogs, so I did not.
Poison dart frog. Oh,
Did you
no.
have a
I forget about the
conversation
poison
about
dart
that?
frog. What happened with the poison dart frog?
Don't eat it.
Oh.
Wait,
It
you eat
hasn't-
it? Should I eat it?
You could eat some of them, probably.
You don't lick frogs.
Don't look frogs.
Definitely don't eat frogs. We've been over that here on SciShow, on Holy Fucking Science before.
But there's a species of frog that gets its poison that it secretes because of beetles that it eats. And so when they're raised in captivity,
That's right.
they're not poisonous. So they're like dart frogs.
Did
but
I
not
tell you
poisonous.
that? Is that why you thought I was me?
Yeah.
Okay. I just completely forgot about it.
Okay. And there's a bird
mean-
that does the same thing. So they have poisonous feathers.
That was
and
a
it's
really
a
good.
poisonous
That was at the
bird.
beginning of that. Was a really good flow. Like all that. It was like
Like
you
a
were rapping.
Oh.
Good.
I was like, does he mean rapping? I don't believe that he means rapping.
I like-
But then you did. What is this podcast?
I black out whenever I say something, so it's just like
You can't remember
secret.
what
I can't
happened.
remember it,
Then
no.
it just comes out.
It's
okay.
that's what
Poetry.
happens. Yeah. I know it's
Yeah.
good. I can go back and watch how
Yeah.
eloquent I was for the first time in my life. Amazing.
It's just it rhymed at the beginning, and I was like, "Is she gonna keep going?"
Yeah. I memorized this whole rap stuff, and then I thought that you were going to present on it, so I just journalized it.
Oh, she made a whole rap.
Yeah.
For Holy Fucking Science. Thanks,
That'd be
everybody.
cool.
Yeah.
Oh man, this was a fun episode.
Yeah.
Possibly just because I'm like looking
Silly.
better, feeling better about
Ooh.
after 2 beers
You're looking
about
better.
about the headache that I've had for the last
Oh,
last
yeah.
half a day.
I thought you were gonna
Last
talk about your
night-
triceps.
I also feel better about my triceps thanks to
Yeah,
Stefan's
firm.
body
Good.
body
Firm.
positivity.
Here. Wait.
How do you flex a tricep?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Just like,
I could do it like this too. It's a little.
yeah, you can, yeah.
Yeah.
This is more bicep though, but you can get the little bit of tricep activation, you know? There you go. There you go. I feel distinct heads here. This is good.
Can you count my tries? Are there 3 of
There's
them?
3.
Are there 3 steps? How many steps do I have?
Where's my 3 steps? Wow.
Thanks for being always fucking science. It's been a
Maybe
pleasure.
only one beer next time.
I have a headache. It was a wonderful time. I'm Hank Green.
Stefan Chin.
Ceri Riley.
Sarah Suda.
And this has been Holy Fucking Science. And it's been, Tune has been on sound, Caleb's been on camera. I forgot to mention it, you guys.
I was like already to cheer. I was like,
Cool.
Really fun, guys.
awesome.
Hooray.
Oh, it's recording. Bye, live stream.
Bye, live stream.
Yay.